Yeah.
Okay, so throughout life, I have heard time and time again that it's about the journey, and I would agree with that statement. Your journey through life, you have lots of ups and downs, and sadly but true, I agree with this statement by W.I.E. Gates that victory has 100 memories, but defeat has amnesia. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the victories in my life that I've experienced and that have really shaped me into who I am, some of the defeats that I've experienced, and why both of them are very important for me to remember throughout my life. Some victories are little things, I guess it'd be my daughter's victories more so than my own, that are so important to me. Seeing my daughter become so independent as a person, seeing her voice her opinion, even though she's only turning 4 this year and she has a ton of them. But I'm glad that she has the ability to do that and she feels comfortable enough to even come up to me or my mom or anyone and ask why. That shows a lot to me and that I take a lot from that. Some of the difficulties and things that I've dealt with in my life, tomorrow actually my divorce is finally finalized. And that is a huge deal to me and what has truly shaped me. And a lot of people would view that as like a detriment, as something that you wouldn't really want to look at, you wouldn't really want to think about because it's like a dark period in your life, right? A lot of people don't really want to think about those dark things that happen to them, but I truly believe that those dark things are what shape you more so than the victories that you have. Little victories in life, like winning first place in something, getting a gold medal, promotions, they're all great. But it truly comes down to those dark moments where you have to make a real life decision on what you're going to do to better yourself that will help you in the long run and that is going to show you who you really are. Your growth can only go up from there. So when you're at those low points, don't forget about them. Don't brush them off. Don't let them linger in the back of your mind. Take those dark moments, realize for them for what they are, and move forward from there.
Touched. Give me that ring.
It's just like hard because you can't drink. Yeah, like.
Well, I like the attention device, and I like the way that you take the topic and you kind of straddle the issue and talk about those things that are important to remember about defeats and victories. I think that that's a good idea. I think you could use a little bit more structure. You just sort of start talking about one, and then you talk about the other, then it seems like we're back to the other, and there's not really a plan. It's just stream of consciousness while you're talking, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it does feel a little inconsistent, and I think it affects the pacing of the presentation also, which is also a little inconsistent. I think your facial expressions are pretty solid. Your eye contact is a little inconsistent too. You do look up at us, but you also have the tendency to kind of, like I've mentioned to other people, you're looking down while you're talking. So you look at us and then you kind of are thinking to yourself about what you're saying, and you're not really looking at us. You're just looking at the idea that you have, and the idea is in front of you, and that's where you're looking instead of engaging us. And so that happens a little bit in the presentation as well. I thought your gestures were very animated and integrated in the speech effectively. There are a couple times when it, like you're holding yourself a bit. It's like, let me calm myself down a bit, and maybe there's anxiety coming out there. Maybe it just felt like that was a natural thing to do at the moment. It wasn't problematic. It's just something I noticed, and I thought, okay, that's a little bit different. The conclusion of the speech I thought was pretty good. You found a point to make, and you made it relatively clearly, which is what we want people to do. If they don't do anything else, tell us what the point was. Why did we listen to you in the first place? All right, thank you. Can somebody send Justin in, please? He's going to be our last speaker today.